Good thing I didn't die just now. I haven't met Johnny and told him how cool he is yet.
Hey y'all, I'm back. It is currently Saturday, March 8th, and it's officially been 1 week since I saw NCT. 1 week yesterday, to be exact. And I just wanted to make this video to talk about my send-off experience and my experience with GA. And I'm also gonna talk a little bit about my ateez send-off experience as well, because they were definitely two kind of different experiences. So I just want to explain to y'all what send-off is like and tell y'all if I think it is worth it. And sorry if you hear a noise in the background. Somebody's doing some work outside, so there's that. So first off, I'm gonna start by talking specifically about NCT 127 because I know some of you are gonna be going to their shows. I think they have maybe 2 or 3 more. I know they have a show tomorrow, Sunday, I think, and I know their last show was on Wednesday, I believe. But anyways, so for 127, I had Momentum, which is the VIP one, I guess, with send off. So basically how it worked, my venue was Gas South Arena. That's here in Duluth, in Georgia, Atlanta, yeah. And Duluth is very much do not tolerate camping. They do not care, and they don't tolerate fan lines. And so what that means is if you don't have fan lines, you may be thinking, well, how does everyone get organized into one line? Does everybody just rush at the person? Yes, that's what happened, except it happened better than it wasn't as bad as it was for ateez, but like if you don't tolerate lines, basically we were told to be there at 8 a.m. I believe. 8 a.m. is when they were starting the lines. I didn't get there until 7:20, and when I pulled up, like I said, because they don't tolerate lines, everyone was like kind of standing around. It was people standing on this, like closer to the venue, on the side that the venue is actually on the other side across the street. Some people over here across the street, and everybody was kind of just standing around because they didn't know where the line was gonna start. The staff ended up coming out around probably like 7:30, 7:40, maybe closer to 7:40, closer to 7:40. And that's when they kind of just came out there and stood, and they explained what was gonna be going on. They're about to put us in a line. But the thing is, like, they had us follow this one lady. So it was one lady, and when it was time to form the line, it was like, follow me. And so of course this blob of people rushed to this one lady, and she was standing on the sidewalk. So the line, they said like you have to be on the sidewalk to be in the line. So everybody kind of rushed towards the sidewalk trying to make a line, and of course it was just this one big like group of people. It was like a big line. It obviously wasn't one single file line immediately, but as we were walking, because she walked us down to where the check-in would be, like it ended up like we had to form a single file line, and that's what we did. And I don't want to go into too much detail about that, but no, it was not organized from the beginning. It was definitely better than it was for ateez, but it was still like you have a big chunk of people not in any line, and you tell them follow this one lady, and everybody wants to have a good spot. Like, no, it's not gonna be that simple. Now, I didn't have no argument around me, but it was like we was kind of pushed together, smushed together until we were able to like form ourselves into a single file line. So that's how that worked. We got in line at 8. They started handing out wristbands for VIP at 9. And then once you got your first VIP wristband, well, not just VIP wristband, once you got your first, we were there to get the venue wristband. That's what it was. So they had a line for VIP 1. They ended up having a line for VIP 2, but at first it started off in one line. They had one line, and then they came down the line from the beginning and split people up according to whether they had the first VIP, the second VIP, or if they just had basic general admission. That's how it went. Yeah. So we got our venue wristbands, and we got a number for that. I'll tell you for Momentum VIP, which is VIP 1, there's 300 people who have that. So 300 people for send-off, basically. That's what happens. you get that wristband, and they told us we could leave and we could start coming back at 1 for VIP check-in. My thing I was worried about, and that's when we get our wristband for VIP, so they know you can go to send off, and they know you're supposed to be, you know, with the first VIP. And so check-in started at 1. I was confused on whether like I had to be back at 1 or not, because we didn't get to go in until 5. That's what we were told. No, you did not have to be there at 1 when they started it. You just had to be there before, you know, everybody went in to like get your stuff. So I didn't get back to the venue until like 2 something. And that's when I checked in, I got my stuff, and I went back to my car and I ate. And then I went back and got in the line around 3:30, but we did not go in until like 5:15, honestly. I think they were running late that day because they were short-staffed, I believe. So yeah. So we got in there. In my with ateez, I will tell you this: when I was at Gas South Arena for ateez and we had send off and we had like GA and stuff, when we got inside, they didn't make us immediately go down to the floor. We got inside, we stayed in our number spots, but like we didn't like have to go down immediately. So you had time to get merch, I believe. I want to say, I'm trying to think. You know, maybe you didn't. I don't remember if you had time to get merch or not, like get out of line and get merch and like get back in the line. I can't remember that, but I know we were sitting there for a while and you had time to go to the bathroom and stuff like that. For NCT 127, that was not the case. When we got in, they took us down to that floor. They took us down to that floor. There was no bathroom break. So use the bathroom. If you're around good people, they'll let you leave your spot and come back to your spot, like once you go down to the floor. But I'm telling you, once you get in there, like there was no pausing in the line. It's time for you to run to the bathroom and run back to your spot. They sent us straight to the floor that time. So yes. And then after the concert ended, I'm sorry I'm going fast, but I don't want this to be too long. So that's how like the wristbanding work. You get your wristband for the venue first, and then if you have like VIP 1 for send off, you come back around 1 or whatever time your venue gives you, and you get your second wristband, and that's how you know you're going down. The second one is a number, so your wristband from the morning when you get numbered, that's going to be your number. So there's that. After the concert, Gas South Arena, they took us and they put us in one of the 100 sections. They like, it was a line forming, and they like had everybody go off into a different row. And this is what I will say, this is why send off is like so much luck, because you don't know where you're gonna get put out there. And I will say this, with Gas South Arena, they only have 2 lines of people. I've seen like for send off some venues, there's like 6 rows of people like before the barricade. That's not how it is at Gas South Arena. It's 2 rows of people. And I will say that's one of the biggest factors of why I chose to do send off again, because for ateez, I didn't know what was gonna happen, but I think I remember seeing send off, I want to say it was for Monster X or something, like somebody send off from way back when, and I was like, it looked like it was decent at Gas South Arena, and I want to be ateez, so that's why I got ateez. And then after I saw how it was for ateez, it was very calm. It was very calm. There's only 2 rows of people for ateez. I was like, I'm doing this again for NCT 127. But anyways, back to when they choose the random rows. So it was a bunch of us sitting in the 100 sections. They picked random rows and they sent you out there. At Gas South Arena, the send off was like wrapped around. So I'm gonna show you from their perspective, like people on this side, and then it does like this, and then it does like that. So it's like, it was like a U shape, and it was like people like this, okay? And what I do remember is it was shorter. The barricades, they were shorter than they were for ateez, like the way they did it. It was shorter. Because for ateez, they didn't have like, it wasn't like we were facing each other in a U shape. It kind of like went around the arena. So it was a little different. But, and I think it being so short made it go by a lot quicker. Like the way the members came out from 127, they all came out at the same time. But for ateez, they had people come out from this side, like you couldn't even see, and then they had members come out from this side, I believe. I do believe that's how it was. They didn't all come out at the same time like they did for 127. But also, for my stop, it was the first stop, and it was the first time 127 did send off. So like, they were figuring things out too. But the ateez staff, they knew what to do when they got to Atlanta. I will say that they knew what to do. So for NCT, I got really lucky. I was one of the first few rows picked, so I ended up with a barricade spot. But once again, there's only one row of girls behind me, and I was like, okay, it's straight. Like, everybody should be fine. I remember for ateez, there were 2 rows of people, and the girls behind me, they got to get their steps fine. They got their interactions, got to talk to them. It was no problem from what I remember. So if everybody didn't have that experience at ateez, I'm sorry. But ateez, it was calm. The members didn't come out like back to back to back. I had time to get my things together. I didn't feel rushed. Like, I felt like this time I didn't practice what I wanted to say for ateez. So like, I had no idea what I was gonna say, so I didn't say that much. But like, had I prepared, I could have said what I wanted to say. Like, I had enough time. Now for NCT, when they came out, the first member was Doyoung, and the way he went, it's like okay, I told y'all it was a U. He went to one side first, started signing a few things, and then the manager had him turn around and go to the other side. And that's when I was like, whoa, 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 no. Because for ateez, they all walked down in order. It wasn't like sign a few things here, bounce here, then bounce back, because that's how people get skipped. And people did get skipped, y'all. People did get skipped. And that's what I hated about the 127 send-off. But so if you were in the area where they came out at first, like, you might not have had the best experience, because I saw how the managers were like pulling them away from people. Like, they'd sign stuff in this group and then get dragged past people to like another position. I was like, what? But eventually, I guess the managers and them kind of realized, like, okay, if you start on this side, you need to go all the way down this side and then loop around. Like I told y'all, if you starting on this side, you need to come down this side and loop around. They eventually realized that. But unfortunately, some members probably skipped some people before they realized that. So that's how it ended up working. They had members coming down like this, and they went back around. And that's how it should have been. So everybody gets their chance. But it moved very quickly for 127, you guys. Like, I remember, even when they started doing it the right way, like the members not like jumping back and forth between sides, like the managers would still pull them away from people to move it quickly. And I also think it's because our show started a little bit later. I told y'all we got let in a little bit later, and maybe they had to be out the venue, but I just think it's really sad. Everybody in there paid the same amount of money, and to not have the same experience as other people, like, it's very unfortunate. And I recognize how lucky I was to have the experience that I had, but it's just everybody pays so much money to be in that room, and like skipping people, and like this was like, they knew, like, and I literally have videos of some members being like you can see they take a picture and then they have to skip a whole group of people, and they're like, sorry. And it's like, oh my gosh. But yeah, that's how it worked. So yeah, I feel like I'm all over the place with this. But basically for 127, they came out really fast, but I was the first stop, so they might have gotten it together more by the time, like, this tour is ending. Like, it's ending next week. So you guys who are going to an upcoming show, like, their managers, their staff, they might be handling this so much better now. So I hope that's the case. But my experience was, I didn't get to say everything I wanted to say, but that's kind of on me. But like, I just felt so rushed by the situation. Like, I was just like, I don't know. I just felt rushed by the situation personally. But I was very fortunate. I was very lucky that I was able to interact with all the members. Like, I got really lucky with that. So when you ask me, would you say send off is worth it? Like, it seriously depends, y'all. I know me, I'm about to do send off again for J-Hope, and yeah, but I've had good send off experiences so far. But after NCT, and I realized, like, literally when I got probably like my last PC sign, or like when Mark signed my like stick like I wanted him to do, and like him and Johnny were gone, like I literally like froze, and I was like, oh my gosh, like the people behind us, like the people in the rows behind us, I mean it with everything in me. Like, it was not my intention to like for the people behind us and like in any second row to not get to speak to the members. But like, I promise you, I didn't say anything to take up time, but like I literally froze, and I was like, oh my gosh, this was not like ateez when like everybody had a chance, almost everybody had a chance to like speak to the members and say what they wanted. And I was just like, it was just like, I don't know. It was a very different experience. Like, but I guess it really just depends on where you go, and you have to know your arena too. Like I said, I know Gas South, they only have 2 rows for send off, so you have a much better chance. But other venues, that's not how it is for them. So you be taking a chance by doing send off and like maybe not getting all those interactions. But I feel like I have more of an opportunity to meet them if I can straight pay for it versus like entering like buying an album for a fan sign or a fan call. So that's why I took my chances with send off. And once again, I'm fortunate that it worked out for me, but that's like not always the case. But one thing I will say, if you want a good seat, if you get the VIP package with send off, you're gonna have a great view of the concert. If you're like, I want to be barricade, and you buy that send off ticket, you might not have the best send off experience, but oh, you're gonna have the best view for the concert. So that's another thing to consider. I wanted a very good view of the concert, and I knew if I got the send off, I would have that, like, regardless. Like, even if I was the last person in line, I knew that I was gonna have like a good view of the show. So it was worth it to me. It was worth it to me for that alone too. But like, it's a lot of money, so you want to have a good send off experience. But like, if you were like, I want a great view of the show, I might not be able to get to interact with every member afterwards, and I'll be okay with that, then you buy that send off thing, and you're gonna have the best view of the show, period. So there's that. With the timing for send off lasted, I guess it probably only lasted 20 minutes. I cannot remember how long it lasted for ateez. I know it definitely had to be longer than it was for NCT, but for NCT it was only 20 minutes. Maybe it's gotten longer as the tour has gone on, but it felt very quick that night. And once again, it might be because they had to get out that venue because things started late, but that's how it was. I had a good send-off experience. ateez, it was a great send-off experience. It didn't feel rushed. The same before experience when like you had to get the wristbands, the 2 wristbands, and Gas South Arena didn't tolerate lines. So that same beginning experience, the same, like, we had to sit in sections and they picked random rows to go out for send off, that same thing happened. But like, yeah, for ateez it was just a bit more calm, and we weren't the first stop of the tour, so the managers, the staff, they knew how to handle it, I guess. But all in all, I would do send off again. I am doing send off again. I'd be picky about the arena I go to, I guess. I just have better luck in Atlanta personally. But if you have any more questions about send off, because I feel like this video was kind of all over the place, I'm really sorry about that. I didn't make any notes. I was just but closing it out, like, I was fortunately able to get everything I wanted out of send off, except for like saying what I actually wanted to the members, because I felt so rushed and I just kind of froze up, and I was just like, let me get my one little thing, and just so they can move on to the next person. I do regret that. I do regret not saying more, but it does go by quickly. I felt like I didn't have the time to be nervous, to be honest with you. I didn't have the time to be nervous. I was just like, ugh. But it was a great experience for me. It wasn't a great experience for others, and I feel really, really, really bad about that. And it's like a gamble. It really is luck. So it doesn't matter how early you get to the venue. If you get to the venue like early, you will have you a good spot. You might be barricade, okay? But for send off, it's really all up to luck with where you get placed. And I will say this: don't let them skip you. Like, if you want something, like, I'm not saying be loud or crazy about it, but like, I had a photo card I wanted signed. I saw a member was kind of getting pulled. I kind of was just like, and he stopped to sign it. So like, don't, if you want something, like, and also you can ask the people in front of you and try to be nice and be like, can you get this signed for me? I had somebody do that for me for ateez, but I just moved over so she could put her hand right there and get it signed herself. So she could have that. And for 127, my friend beside me, a girl wanted her photo card signed, so she gave it to my friend beside me, and she got that signed. So like, don't be shy to ask people, because like, everybody wants to have a good experience. Some people might have a lot in their hands, a lot they're trying to do, and they really want to get stuff from the members, but you can see if some people will be like willing to help you out. So if you're like in the second row, you don't get completely skipped over. But like definitely if you want something, I'm not saying like be loud and yell at the members, but like if you just, I guess if you kind of just stand there and you don't say anything, it's easier for them to skip over you. So like if you kind of want something, just try to like reach your hand forward, not like disturbing anybody, but like don't just kind of like stand back and just let it continuously like happen. Like if you're in the second row, it's kind of harder for that because you got to like reach over the people in front of you, and the people in front of you on the barricade might have been getting skipped too. But like if you want something, like try your best, I guess, to get their attention in like a way, and you're not a way in which you're not being disturbing to others. You know, like just like, hey Jen, like Mark, I don't know, because like I just know some people are saying you didn't say anything, you kind of got skipped. So I feel bad about that. I wasn't yelling nobody's name. In my videos, you can hear like I was very softly just like, hey Jen, and kind of like reaching my hands out, and that worked. But best of luck to you if you try send off. I think it's worth trying. Once again, if you don't have the best send off experience, you'll have a great seat. You should have a great time during the concert. Yeah, if I missed anything, like if you guys have any more questions you want to know, let me know. I guess I'll say what you can and can't do. For 127, you can take pictures with the members. They let that happen. They can hold your phone and all that stuff. I know it's not like that for all the groups. For ateez, I couldn't take pictures with them, but they could take pictures on my phone. They can sign photo cards. The thing that say for send-offs, like you can't do, it was like no live streaming. And I thought that included FaceTime, but apparently not, because for 127, I've seen the girls been FaceTiming their friends to show, and I didn't know you could do that. But I saw them doing that. Like you can give them something to hold to take a picture with. I really wanted to give Mark that hat, but I didn't know if they could take things from send off. And I also was like, it was, like I said, I told you I felt rushed, but I regret not giving him the hat I had for him so much. But I've seen them take some things from fans, or at least 127. I don't think for ateez, I don't think you could give them anything to take. But for 127, it seems like they might be able to take some things if you have gifts for them. Yeah, thank y'all for watching. Comment if y'all have more questions about how send off or anything else works, and let me know your experience with send off. I'd like to hear about it, and I hope this was helpful. I'm sorry if it was all over the place. I should have made notes in like order to talk about it, but I hope it was helpful, and I hope if you have send off, good luck. I hope you have the best experience. Bye.